Well, we're joined now by Wil Ralston. Wil is the president of Singlepoint Incorporated. Again, the stock symbol's SING. Wil, always good to see you.
Thanks for having me, Don.
Now, I want to talk with you about the cryptocurrency side of things, Bitcoin specifically. I mean, a lot of people have different ideas about cryptocurrency, a lot of misinformation's out there about cryptocurrency, but everybody knows the one statistic, that $100 of Bitcoin in 2010 is worth like $100 million today. Everybody gets pretty excited about that.
Oh yeah, the growth has been absolutely unbelievable. So the people that are really starting to pay attention, it's really making it, more consumers are starting to adopt it and pay attention to where Bitcoin could possibly go.
Well, what's really interesting is a lot of people are trying to figure out how they can make money with Bitcoin. How can they profit from it? And whether you want to trade the Bitcoin, it's been very volatile. I think one day last week it went down $2,500 in like a 4-hour period of time.
Yep.
That can scare people away. But Singlepoint is converging the cannabis industry with the cryptocurrency industry. You guys have figured out a way to make money, and it doesn't really matter what happens with Bitcoin. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So our goal here is to become and enable Bitcoin to be transactional. I mean, that was its key fundamental, right? It was going to be used as a transaction medium for people to essentially exchange like they do cash, but utilizing Bitcoin. So what we're working to do is provide this Bitcoin solution, and then every transaction that happens, we're actually participating in that transaction and get a transactional percentage. So whether the price of Bitcoin's at 20,000 or 10,000, we are still transacting, and by way of our platform, we collect a percentage.
Well, of course, we're here in Los Angeles, California, and California is getting ready in a few short weeks to be legal for recreational. That's going to balloon that industry beyond belief. But everybody that's being a customer right now in this collective is paying with cash.
Correct.
They can't use their credit card. There's an ATM machine on site, but they're paying with cash, and that can be, number one, inconvenient, because not everybody carries around a lot of cash anymore. It can be a security risk for the business because the bad guys know, gee, there's a lot of cash in this business. And so you're making available to them the ability to use cryptocurrency. How's that going to work?
Well, what we'd like to see it as is consumers are actually walking in prepared to utilize their cryptocurrency and Bitcoin through the application that we've built. So when they're already aware of it, and that's why we want to make a big consumer adoption play initially. And then when they're going in to pay, they're not worried about having enough cash on them or having to utilize an ATM. They're already prepared to make that payment.
So you've developed an app, which we're going to demonstrate later on in the program, that allows people to come in to a dispensary like this one and make a purchase using cryptocurrency.
Correct.
And so I know Greg mentioned earlier in the interview that you're actually going to do a national infomercial that shows people how to download your app and get involved.
Exactly, and that's part of the whole consumer play, is that if we achieve high consumer adoption, that will be our path of least resistance to bringing on more merchants as well.
And I've said this before, but I think it's worth repeating. This really goes back to the roots of what Singlepoint's all about, because you were a mobile payments company from day one. Yep. Here you are now, again, another mobile payments company.
That's right.
But in converging two of the hottest industries going right now.
Well, it's really just a marriage made in heaven, because the cannabis businesses are having a really hard time being able to electronically transact, and the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin platforms enable them to do just that.
Well, I spoke to one of the employees here that helps the customers, and they said it's not unusual several times a day for someone to mistakenly think they can buy with their credit card.
Oh, absolutely. I think we've seen it in here while we've been doing these interviews.
Right, and they have to direct them to the ATM machine, or they have to turn them away.
Correct.
So you can eliminate this problem that we have right now, because there's like 30 or 31 states in the country where marijuana is legal. But yet it's still federally illegal, which means they can't use the banks. This cryptocurrency solution that you folks have developed is really the solution to that problem.
Absolutely. So they'll be able to essentially bank online through the use of the Bitcoin platform we've built.
Now, you're here in California. That means something's up with Singlepoint. I always said that when Greg's in town. But basically, California is just a few short weeks away. I think it's the middle of January where it becomes legal in California recreationally. That's going to balloon these businesses beyond belief. I think here in Los Angeles, it might be April before all these dispensaries are licensed for recreational purposes. But when you start getting these transactional fees, that's tremendous revenue opportunity for the company.
Oh, absolutely. They're expecting California to be a $7 billion industry. So if we can capture a piece of those transactions and a piece of that revenue, then I I think we'll be pretty well off.
Now, you're working, and I know that the company has headquarters both in Seattle and in Phoenix. Do you see yourselves expanding to other markets besides California?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we want to make a nationwide play. So that's one of the reasons we've stayed hands off the plant, is because we can actually take our technologies and go to every single state as they open up.
Now, as I mentioned to Greg in the earlier interview, you've made several acquisitions this year. It's been a tremendous growth year for the company. I mean, you must be really excited what's going to happen in 2018.
Well, 2018, I think, is our most exciting year yet. We've really positioned ourselves to have a strong 2017 and parlay that into a strong 2018.
Once again, Wil Ralston, he's the president of Singlepoint. We've been talking about cryptocurrency and cannabis and the convergence thereof. Wil, very exciting. Thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show again, Don. Appreciate it.